Hi, I'm Sarah from the upcoming. So lovely to chat to you. How you doing?
Hi,
Okay.
nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. So Birds of Paradise, what a beautiful, amazing film. I'm a huge fan of the dance genre in general. So my first question for you was, how much was, that an appeal for you in and of itself? But it feels like you've taken stories like Billy Elliot, or, all the way through to Black Swan, and you've kind of, made a film that sits within those sorts of films, but brought up to date and made it very unique as well. So how do you
Mm,
think it fits within the genre, and why did you want to make a film about this sort of
mm.
subject?
Thank you. Yeah, thank you so much. I um I definitely wanted to entice audiences with like just a delicious dance movie that's so fun to watch. There's something about dance movies that are just like intensely addictive and watchable. Um and so I was really hoping to make something that could really lure audiences in with that, but then also hopefully subvert expectations and sort of surprise them and take them to maybe a deeper place than they thought they might get with a dance movie too. So it just felt like I'm at a moment in my filmmaking career where I was really trying to make something more accessible that could speak to a wider audience, and at the same time wanted to still retain my voice and make something elevated that and a movie that had something to say.
And the film really rests on these incredible performances
Yeah.
from Christine and Diana. How did you choose these two and work with them kind of to elicit, there's incredible chemistry there, but what looks like some grueling, choreography for them to get through as well on the dance side. So how did you choose them, and how did you work with them to create the film together?
Sure. Dara Gordon and Trevor Adley of Anonymous Content brought this book to myself and to my partner, Jonico Donley, and our company, Everything is Everything. And it was a project that had Diana and Christine attached. And so I had worked with Christine previously, and I just felt like it was so richly rewarding to be a part of her development as an actor previously. And I wanted to continue that journey. And I had seen Diana in Booksmart and thought she was like absolutely captivating and totally, such a scene stealer, and like definitely I wanted to give her a movie of her own. So I thought that was intriguing right off the bat. And then when I met with them and we decided whether or not we were going to do this together, I just, I said, like, we can only do this if you realize this is going to be the most challenging role of your life to date. It is going to push you physically, it is going to push you spiritually. And I wanted them to know that as hard as it was going to be, I was always going to be in their corner at every step of the way. And they went from, no dance training whatsoever to being thrown into hyper rigorous 3 months of dance training. And at the same time, as their bodies are being pushed to the max, they're telling these really intense personal stories. So I couldn't be more proud of both of them.
And like I was saying at the beginning, it ostensibly is a dance film, but it goes to so many other places. It's very multi-layered. It's dealing with overcoming loss and with suicide, and this moment where it's talking about the shame and regret that we have to deal with through our lives and how we overcome that. So, what do you hope that people take away from the film?
I think I guess if I could narrow it down to two things, I think the first is that for all of us, there is part of being a human on planet Earth is there's really no escape from pain and suffering and grief. It's coming for all of us eventually. It's part of what it means to give our hearts and to love, that we are vulnerable to those things. And so I wanted to tell a story about somebody finding their way through that, and somebody who's learned to embrace and own their pain fully so that they can find peace in their heart. And then the other thing was I really wanted to tell a story about ambition, where ambition and libido meet. But a story about reaching for greatness and reaching for something impossible and for the beyond. And I think that's what makes humanity fun to root for. It's what makes characters fun to root for when they're reaching for something beyond themselves. And at the same time, we have to ask ourselves whether it's worth that price, whether, to achieve greatness at the highest level, are we compromising something essential about ourselves? Can you still be a good person at the same time? And I really hope the answer is yes. But I would say that right now, I think the pandemic has forced a lot of us to downshift and think about our priorities and think about what really matters. And I think that I think it's John Malkovich. I might be misquoting him, but he said something to the extent that he's not interested in ambition. He's interested in curiosity and determination. And so it's less about, maybe like starting to shift our thinking where it's less about our ego and our achievement and perhaps more about a deeper relationship with nature and the world, and curiosity and a search for some kind of truth, and putting things in perspective, I think, which we all need right now. And sorry, I'm going a little rambling a little bit, but I do think if we're going to survive on this planet much longer, we need a radical perspective shift. So I hope it'll be a moment of wake up call for all of us to sort of rethink our relationship with achievement and what we want out of this life.
Absolutely. Well, I think I'm out of time, but it's been an absolute pleasure to speak to you. Thanks so much for providing all those incredible insights. Thanks, Sarah.
Thank you. It's nice to meet you.